So I wanted to come on and talk through what we've been working on. So it's we just released dSIPRouter 0.72, and we really had a few different core things that we were focused on. The first thing was that running an open source project is super hard, right? And really, if you really think about what dSIPRouter does, it really packages up really Camilio, RDP engine, and kind of bolts all those pieces together with some logic in order to provide a platform that people can use. And I think that I think sometimes people underestimate the amount of effort and time and energy that goes into it. So as we, go through I think it's our sixth or seventh year now. I think we're starting to finally get our feet under us, and we're starting to figure out that we need to come up with a strategy for monetizing in a more consistent way. And part of that was that we needed to have a robust license management mechanism. So in this release of 0.72, we released a new license manager. And we had an old one and it wasn't very good. I kind of just built it within like within a couple of days. But this one, we actually took time and we actually built an enterprise class license management system. As many of you may know, we have a few modules right now that are, subscription based. So we have the Microsoft Teams module, which allows you to connect to Microsoft Teams. And by the way, we are doing some enhancements to that module in a future release. We also have a TransNexus stir shaking module. So TransNexus is one of the big things that they do. They make it really easy for you to implement and manage stir shaking compliance. So what we do is basically send the call out to TransNexus. TransNexus will handle all of the compliance part of that and send back an identity header, right? So it manages the certificate rotations, all that good stuff. But anyway, that's a module that we have. And then we also took the native stir shaking, so the one that comes with Camilio, wrap some love around it, right, to make it easier to use. And now we've actually made that one a paid module. So it was always in our the open source, which is the parent company that kind of manages and handles dSIPRouter. We've always had it as a paid module, but we just didn't have it activated as a paid module because we didn't really have a good way of actually enabling it as a paid module. So now we do. So that module is now there. And then in future releases, we're also going to have a marketplace, and we're going to define how people can contribute modules to the router project. So that should be interesting. I think there's going to be, I think hopefully there's a lot of synergy and energy around that, because that will allow people who are that build up something really cool to be able to monetize it as well. We'll do a revenue share there as well. So that was one of that was one of the big enhancements we did. The other big enhancements that we did, we added a upgrade framework, and everybody's been asking us for an upgrade approach, because every time we put out a new release of dSIPRouters, it's super complicated to upgrade, and we just want to get better at it. So this was the first release that we actually have the framework available. So people moving from 0.70 of dSIPRouter to 0.72 will be able to run an upgrade script, and it's in our notes, it's in our docs, how to actually do this, but that will upgrade you. Now, I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but we actually, not for this release, but upcoming releases, the upgrade framework will be something that will only be available to people that have a dSIPRouter subscription. And I understand people are going to be a little upset with this, but at the end of the day, it takes us a ton of time, like 2 full-time people just managing and handling the upgrade mechanism. So every time that we do an upgrade, we're going to need to make sure that we have, resources on dSIPRouter, basically building up the packages to make sure a smooth upgrade happens. And it's the testing that really is I mean, writing the logic for it is not a big thing, but just testing it and testing edge cases. So we really had to make that part of the subscription because it is super expensive to maintain that. And if we start going back to supporting all these different, right now we have support for a number of platforms. But if you start talking about supporting the upgrade, right now the upgrade is really only supported in Debian. But if we actually plan to like support that across all the OSs that we support, it becomes super cumbersome to do. So we definitely had to put a revenue model around that. And then the other thing is that we got a lot of complaints about our docs. Again, just what we've found out in running an open source project is very difficult to get people to contribute their time and energy to updating docs. So that leaves us as a team to maintain the docs. So it's very difficult. So we've actually updated the docs, and we're hoping that the new revenue streams that we have from the modules will allow us to consistently update the actual docs. And then the other thing is that, of course, we have a bunch of bug fixes that we've added to dSIPRouter as well. There's just a lot of things that we just needed to fix. And there's still a lot more stuff we need to fix. We just didn't have all the time that's needed in order to do this. Because if you look at how we manage dSIPRouter right now, is that we're taking resources to support and maintain and deal with new releases of dSIPRouter, and then we also have to have other resources, and sometimes the same resources do support as well, right? And also we have new engagements of people wanting us to deploy a dSIPRouter for them and deploy it in a more sophisticated way. So we have to have resources available to do that. So we're doing the best we can to be able to get this out to you. So I just wanted to kind of quickly just lay out, what we've done in 0.72. One of the things that we did in the docs in particular is that we're no longer like listing all the APIs that we have in the docs. We spent the time to create a Postman, a public Postman Workspace collection. So if you use Postman, or even if you don't, you can go to Postman and you can actually go to their public website, and then you can just search for dSIPRouter. And all of the APIs that we have are there. All the public APIs that we have, at least, are there. You can take the token, the API token that was created when you installed dSIPRouter, and you can use that to start testing out the API for dSIPRouter. And we're going to do a better job in upcoming releases to actually go into Postman and then write the documentation into each one of the APIs, so we can give more details about how this API works and things of that nature. And I just think that's just more appropriate than us trying to maintain some documentation as well, right? Because I think most developers these days, they're going to leverage Postman to go out and start start testing and learning about the API, see how it performs and things of that nature. So we just thought it was best just to make it easy for you. You don't have to like recreate your own dSIPRouter Postman collection. We give it to you, and you can actually clone that collection, and then you can start working on it, or you can combine the APIs together if you needed to through the mechanism they have in Postman in order to come up with a workflow that would suit your business requirements. So anyway, those are that's just like one of the big things that I think was important that we do here, because again, we're trying to make it easier for people to be able to deploy a SIP proxy, not having to understand all the underlying um, concepts that's needed, and be able to get something out to the market faster for your customers, or if you're building a product on top of this. um, we just want people to be able to do it quicker and faster. So, all right, that's all I wanted to really talk about for this particular segment. If you really, you know, enjoyed this conversation that we had today, I'm going to do a better job of actually putting out more content. So please, like, subscribe to our channel, so that way you'll get notified of our upcoming topics, and also it will help us to um, see what you like, what you don't like. We can engage with you and just figure out what content and that you really want to see, so we can make sure we're producing that for you. All right. So have a great day. We'll talk soon.